This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Good morning, my Real News Media TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and productive day. And in the news this morning for August 6, 2023, man and woman dead in suspected murder-suicide on Windward Road. A man and a woman were found dead with gunshot wounds inside a vehicle on Windward Road in Kingston on Saturday night. The deceased have not yet been identified. Information reaching the news is that about 9 p.m., residents heard explosions coming from inside a vehicle that was parked in the middle of the roadway. When checks were made, the woman and the man were found dead in the driver's and the front passenger's seat, respectively, with gunshot wounds. It is suspected to be a case of murder-suicide. The police were still on the scene up to publication time. Killing of constable in Sandy Bay not random, says Clarendon Police Chief. Senior Superintendent Carlos Russell, commanding officer for the Clarendon Police Division, asserted on Saturday that the cop who was shot dead at a bar in Sandy Bay on Friday night was targeted for killing. Constable Justin Martin was assigned to the St. Catherine North Division Enhanced Security Measures Unit. Superintendent Russell told the news that two men shot the 32-year-old cop multiple times. It's reported that about 12:10, Constable Martin was at the Pink and the Pretty Bar along the Sandy Bay Main Road when two gunmen approached him on foot. During a struggle with the criminals, the policeman was shot multiple times in his upper body. The gunmen escaped in a white Toyota motor car. Constable Martin died while undergoing treatment at hospital. 18-year-old shot by a licensed firearm holder during Portmore attack charged. The police have charged an 18-year-old man who was shot during an attack on a man at a business establishment in Portmore, St. Catherine. Charged with assault at common law, unauthorized possession of a prohibited weapon, and unauthorized possession of prohibited ammunition is Quasi Smith, a laborer of Portmore Villa, Gregory Park in Portmore. The police say the incident happened on Thursday, June 29. It is reported that about 8:27 p.m., a man was at a business place along Baptist Road in Portmore when he heard a single explosion that sounded like a gunshot. Shortly after, he reportedly saw two men walking briskly towards him, one of whom pulled a firearm from his waistband and pointed it at him. He reportedly became fearful for his life, and in defense, he pulled his firearm and opened gunfire in their direction. The firearm fell and the men ran in separate directions. The police say Smith later turned up at hospital where he was treated and subsequently released into the custody of cops. He was subsequently charged following an identification parade and an interview session. His accomplice is still at large. His court date is being finalized. Dispute leaves a father dead and a son in custody. An early morning dispute between a father and his son left the older man dead and his son in custody. Dead is 74-year-old Clovis Fort, a taxi operator who lived in the Port Maria housing scheme. According to the police, Fort returned home early Saturday morning and saw his son, whose name is being withheld pending charges, on the veranda watching movies on his phone. An argument developed between them, during which the younger man threw a brick at his father's car. They tussled and then the son allegedly went to the kitchen and got a knife that he used to stab his father in his upper shoulder. Fort collapsed and his son sought assistance from neighbors in getting him to the Port Maria hospital where he was pronounced dead. His son was then taken into custody. He is in custody. He's not yet been charged. Deputy Superintendent of Police Joseph Foster, who is a commander for Zone 4 of the St. Mary Police Division, told the news. "I'm in shock as both men are known to me over the years. Clovis would come to me at various times where there were domestic matters involving his son. It's just sad that this had to happen," he added. While it is unclear what led to Saturday morning's dispute, others have confirmed DSP Foster's statement that a father and a son have had a stormy relationship over the years. According to news sources, Ford took his son to court on a previous occasion, but later opted not to proceed with the case in favor of mediation. Those who knew Clovis Ford said he was popular and good-natured. He planned routes in the Ocho Rios area. the Portmore CIB is investigating. Faggy charged after gun and ammo allegedly found in car. A 27-year-old man is facing charges of possession of prohibited weapon and unauthorized possession of ammunition after police found a gun in the car he was traveling in during an operation in Old Harbor. Charged is Karen Copeland, otherwise called Faggy, of 7 Miles Bartons District, Old Harbor in St. Catherine. According to reports from the Portmore police, lawmen were conducting an operation in the community on July 29 when they signaled the driver of a car to stop. Copeland alighted from the vehicle and the search was conducted. During the search, a Glock 19 pistol with a magazine affixed containing 3 live rounds was found. He was subsequently charged. His court date is being finalized. Rights advocates want periodic reviews of persons in custody to avoid miscarriages of justice. The human rights advocacy organization, Jamaicans for Justice, is urging that there be periodic reviews of persons in custody awaiting their appeal to prevent further miscarriages of justice. This appeal follows the recent quashing of the conviction and the sentence of Brian Russell. The ruling was handed down on Monday in the Court of Appeal. Mr. Russell was sentenced in 2015 to 11 years imprisonment for firearm and robbery offenses. It took 8 years for his appeal to be heard. As part of a collaborative project between Stand Up for Jamaica, Jamaicans for Justice, and the public law chambers, efforts are being made to assist the appellants whose appeals have been subjected to prolonged delays. Terrence Williams, one of the attorneys with the public law chambers, speaking with the news, revealed that it took 7 years for the transcript from Mr. Russell's trial to be prepared and 1 year for the matter to be heard in the Court of Appeal. Mr. Russell will be eligible for release next month.
The conviction sentences were quashed based upon arguments that we made regarding errors in the judge's summation. So it was a question that that if it had been heard earlier, these would have been pointed out and the man wouldn't have served his entire, he served practically his entire sentence awaiting his appeal. So it was errors regarding relying on hearsay evidence and so on. But we will hear from the Court of Appeal fulsomely when they give us the written judgment.
John Clark, attorney and the board chair of Jamaicans for Justice, said this case, the second in recent times, has again exposed the deficiencies in access to justice for appellants.
The purpose of that appeal is to correct errors in the justice system. So not everybody in the justice system, judges, lawyers, and prosecutors, are human. So it is quite possible that in 1 or 2 cases, errors may be made. And in a scenario where errors are made, the Court of Appeal should be able to ventilate it in a timely manner so that innocent persons who may be wrongly convicted or who may be serving a sentence that they should not be serving will get the true benefit of their appeal. It may need to be made, in my view, from the regulation change from the minister because, one, the regulation, if one reads it in a certain manner, does not permit the representation to continue after the trial judge or whoever would sign the certificate to say that this legal aid lawyer assisted the person for the trial process. And legal aid counsel itself may also want to look at the act itself because one interpretation of the act would see that they themselves could make a determination to assign legal aid without waiting on a single judge. Because I do not appreciate how the act is being interpreted in a manner that is only a Court of Appeal judge can assign legal aid.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.